Hey guys, it's your buddy Rome. Today we're going to take a look at this amazing camera from EMEET. This is a 4K camera with AI features built into it as well. We're going to take it down to the desk, look at exactly what comes in the box, set it up, set up the software, and see exactly if this is going to be the type of camera that I can recommend to you guys for your live streams, for your gaming, or whatever it is that might be in your mind that you want to be able to capture. This could be a good camera. So we will find out together. Let's take it down to the desk, look at exactly everything that comes in the box. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's go. All right, guys. So as you can see here, this is the box that the camera comes in. Very nice design. There's a few features mentioned here on the box, just in case you guys are interested. And that's talking a little about the type of features that are built into it. You have a 310-degree rotation. You have a 180-degree on the tilt for the camera. But let's open it up and see exactly what we get in the box. All right, let me grab my trusty. Okay, well, maybe that's not as trusty as I thought it was going to be. Let me get something else. And as you guys know, I do not script these videos. So what you guys are seeing here is real time going on right now in the studio. All right. So let's open up this box. Try not to destroy the box. All right. First thing that we see here in the box, guys, is the starter manual. Or this is a little welcome flyer. So this is going to have your QR codes on the back of it that you can scan for downloading the software to your Mac, PC, or whatever device you're going to be using this with. And the second box is most likely going to be all of our accessories. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Push this guy off to the side. All right, so it looks like we have a USB-A to USB-C cable with an adapter. So that's really nice, because a lot of people who are using PCs and even Macs don't have the USB-C. So the USB-A included it's pretty industry standard these days, but it's really nice to see it. The cable has a really nice rubberized feel to it. So this should be a long-lasting cable. We also received the little starter manual, and you can kind of go through this at your leisure. Now, there are some QR codes that I just saw here that are going to help you, with setting this up, and we'll go through the features of those in a little bit. We also receive in the box, which looks to be just a quick starter guide to just kind of get you started, everything that you need to know about it. I probably won't need the majority of these, so I'm going to put these aside, but that doesn't go in there. What are you doing, Ro? Okay, so let's get to it. In the box. Okay, this has some significant weight to it, guys. This is your mount. This is your mount. This is metal. And it has a little rubberized padding underneath. Now, you guys have seen me talk about a lot of, PTZ cameras, their mounting systems. This one actually has a screw-in mounting system. I do like that because that means that we'll be able to mount this on things, like monopods, tripods, even some of these GoPro mounts, that have the 1/4-20. If you wanted to mount that on like a little tripod or something, you'll be able to do that. So that's really nice that it has this type of design. And like I said, this has some significant weight to it. All right, let's get to the main event. And let's make sure there's nothing else in the box. As you guys see, that's pretty much everything in the box right there. All right. Let's take a look at this guy. I can tell you one thing. It definitely is a conversation starter because it looks like it's looking at you, like it has a little robot aesthetic to it. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this wrapper. I can compare this to a number of cameras that I have here in the studio, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that here in a second. But the build quality on this camera feels to be really nice. And let me grab one of my other small cameras here really quickly just to show you guys what I'm talking about. So here is an Osbot. This is the Osbot Tiny 2 SE, and this is the new EMEET camera. As you guys can see, it's a significant difference in the size of these cameras. But one of the things that I notice, and when I turn it to the side, you guys can kind of get the effect of what I'm talking about here. The weight distribution on the head is much better. What I mean is when I turn this camera to the side, let's say I had it sitting like this, and if I let go of it, you know, it may stay in place, it may rotate, it just depends on, you know, where the camera is placed. But with this one, you get really good weight distribution on the camera, which is really nice. So it also has the microphones built into the top of the camera, as you guys see here. All right, so we have this nice little rubberized material underneath here. That's going to be great for securing this. And the way you secure this, like any of the other mounts, you're just going to line that up, and then you're going to lift this little position up right here. If you can get your nail under it, and you're just going to tighten that guy down, and it should rotate in place. If that doesn't work, then just use a tool, because that's usually what I would do. I would just grab one of these and tighten that guy down and line it up. I try to line it up with the name so that we know it's going to be facing in the right direction. And then you don't have to have this super, super tight, just tight enough where it's not going to move around. And then pretty much there you go. So you're ready to, plug this guy in and start it up. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to actually install the software for it. And I'm going to give you guys kind of a quick little walkthrough on the software. Now, I am going to mount this camera here on one of my monitors. And let's get right to it. Now, for me to connect this to my hub, I should be able to just plug this directly into my hub without having to worry about routing or anything like that. I have an Anchor hub here on my desk, and I'm just going to disconnect here. And like I said, this is a very long cable. So I'm just going to plug this into the hub. And hopefully, if everything works the way it should, I should be able to just plug this guy in like so, and it should receive power from the hub. As you guys see, we have the little light up on the face. All right. So that's a good start right there. That is a great, great start. And I'm going to keep the camera that I'm showing you guys myself on as well, so that you'll be able to see me here as well as see what's going on the screen. Okay. So first things first, we need to install the software for this camera. So let's get to that. So looking at the software setup here, you guys can see there's a number of options here. So here's your management tab. Here's your scene tab, which you can go in and configure as well. Your outputs, you can determine your frame rate. Let's go in here real quick. As you guys can see, we can go all the way up to 4K 30, 2K 30, 1080p 60, 1080p 30, and 720 30. So those are your options there. I'm going to go ahead and just put this at 4K 30. And you have your options of landscape or vertical. You have your output channels as mono or stereo. It's totally up to you how you guys want to be able to run this. And we have our global hotkeys, which is really nice. I'm hoping there's going to be a Stream Deck integration for this. You have your general tab here, the about tab. So that's pretty much everything that's here. So if we click on these little three dots here, we can see that now our firmware is up to date. You do have the option here to do a factory reset. So if you ever get in trouble with the camera, you can always come back and do that. So let's go ahead and just close that out. And let's close this out as well. All right, so here is our main canvas for operating the camera. I'm going to expand that out a little bit more for you guys to be able to see what's going on. Now, I did notice it doesn't want to expand vertically, so we'll just leave it like that. All right, so here's the camera right now connected. It says it's in standard mode. You have tracking and privacy mode. So you have all three of those modes here. You have your PTZ controls right here, and you can go in and set your different initial. So let's say we're going to go ahead and assign where initial is. So we're going to bring that down. Now let's see if we can drag on the screen. No, it doesn't allow you to do that. On some of my other cameras, you can actually drag on the screen to position. So we're just going to kind of position this where we think this guy should be. All right, so that's going to give us a really good look at the back of the studio, everything that's going on. All right, so let me put some lights on back there because it looks a little boring. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on some of my lights so we have something going on in the background as soon as I find the control for it. All right, so I want to turn on the background lights. All right, let's just make this a nice purple color back there. There we go. All right, so as you guys can see, the color representation or rendering of this camera is really, really nice. So that is our initial position right here. It looks like, all right, so we have down here, we have the audio modes. So we have, as you guys can see here, let me bring that back because that's just going to be annoying. Now, the PTZ controller is a little bit fast, and I'm going to bring that down slowly. Let's bring it back up. There we go. All right, so we'll figure out the controls as far as how to lock it into place. Okay, so anyway, that this will come back to, which is, you know, for setting up your different positions. You have your live mode, you have your noise cancellation mode for the microphones built into it, and you also have the original sound. So the original sounds are going to pretty much sound like whatever's going on in the room without any treatment. So if there's a leaf blower outside, you're going to hear that. If you're, you know, typing on the desk, you're going to hear things like that. So, okay, so down here we have our filters. So we have our default, we have a bright filter, which just kind of brightens it up just a little bit, blue, cloudy, and you can kind of scroll through these guys and see what you like. I'm just going to leave that on default. Now, the thing that I do like really quickly here is that you can quickly get into your settings. So if you want to change something here, you can also change the orientation of the camera. You guys see how that works? You can rotate it, and then you can do the same here. You can rotate, and then you can also flip the camera if you wanted to right here with these controls. And then, of course, what does this one do here? That's for your whiteboard, so we're not going to activate that, but you guys get the idea. So you have a lot of different controls here. Let's go take a look under effects. So under effects, if you just leave it as default, it's not going to give you a lot of control here, but you can go in and adjust the brightness. You can adjust the blue color, the cold, the vivid, the customize. You have all of these features right here that you can activate if you want to go in and adjust them. So if we go to, say, brightness, now we can go in and kind of really dial in the colors that we want, for our scene. And I do highly recommend that. What I would do here is try to place like something white in the front of the camera so that you can get a accurate white balance. And then like right now, if you come down here, you can see where it says, auto white balance. So if we turn that off and then we take something white like this. All right, so the white balance in here is about 42. So we're going to just bring that up just a little bit. And then you can save that as your white balance for the camera, which is really nice. Okay. So you have a lot of features. You also have your anti-flicker, which really comes in depending on which region you're in. You have your sharpness, saturation, you have the tone you can adjust. I will go through and dial these in the future just to get this exactly where I want it. But if you're not happy after you tweak around, all you have to do, guys, is, restore default right here, and it should bring everything back to the default. Now, another cool thing that I noticed with this camera that it has that I've never seen with any other camera is it has what's called script generation. Okay. Now, this is really, really cool because you can go in for my content creators out there. You can use this like Chat GPT. So you have Gemini, you have Chat GPT, you have Cloud, you have Gork, and you can go in and choose whichever one you want. So if you wanted Chat GPT, you could choose that. And then what you can do is give it a prompt of something that you want to do. Okay. And then you can then determine, basic things like, what is this? It's a daily blog. It's lifestyle. It's knowledge. It's, whatever. And it's just going to help you build out the script. Okay. So in this case, handcrafted products, pets, steady life. Let's do life recording here. Okay, it says, please help me generate a blog recording video for my day. Long visit at the day at the park. Okay, so that's pretty cool. All right, so if you were going to go to the park, and then you have little things here you can go in and customize how many cameras you're going to have. If you want to storyboard it out, how many sections for the storyboard, number of characters, and then whatever the default relationships are right here. You can add that. Okay, so at that point, you say how long do you want this to be. You can determine right now within 30 minutes, an hour, within 2 hours, or you can just do something universal. But if you click on start, what it's going to do is going to generate a script for you that's going to pretty much give you all of the detailed information that you would need, and you just read along with it. Now, I don't do scripts, when it comes to anything that I create. Trust me, there's a lot of bloopers, ask Richard. But what's cool about this is that now, you have your camera positions, park entrance, morning. The park entrance is, blah, 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 blissing. And then you have static shots. And then you have all of this information at your fingertips, guys. And you can also download this, to another device if you wanted to keep track of it, So let's say you wanted to, let's see what our options are here. So it looks like you can download it as a CSV file and then save it to another device. So you'd be able to, just follow along with it, maybe a tablet or something like that makes it easy. But like I said, it gives you all of your steps. It gives you all of the steps for your script, and then you can easily just use something like this, especially for people who are just starting out that don't have a lot of background in creating content. This could be a win for you. So next thing we're going to do here is I'm going to bring this camera in to software that I normally use for streaming. Okay, so I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to drag this over so you guys can see it. So I'm using Mel Studio here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new scene, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, one of my recording scenes here. And I'm going to create a duplicate. And we're just going to call that one EMEET. That's good enough. Okay, so we're going to switch over to that scene. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the camera. So right now we have my top-down camera here. So we're going to switch that camera out. And I'm going to switch to the EMEET camera if I can find it in the... Okay, for some reason that camera, there it is. Okay, so now it is upside down. So I would have to adjust the camera. So I would have to go in here and, make my adjustments. So let's flip it right. and it seems really zoomed in, but you guys get the idea. Let me unlock this and let's see if we can reset this back to, okay. So, but anyway, you guys can kind of see what's going on here, how the camera is set up. And of course, I should have kept open the EMEET controller. Let me find that controller real quick here and we will. Okay, so we should be able to minimize this, but I'm just going to move this over to another screen and I'm going to adjust the PTZ on this camera again. And it's probably zoomed in because I have it set at 4K, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But the point is, you guys can see the quality of the camera. This camera is facing me directly right here, you know, in the scene. I do like the saturation. I like the color. I would probably brighten it up a little bit. I have a number of lights here in the studio, but I'm not using all of them for this video. But I will honestly tell you, this guy is really nice. So let's put this in tracking mode so we can see how well it's going to track. Now you have gesture controls, so I should be able to do a gesture like this. And this one should start tracking as well as my other camera over here did. So now as I move around, the camera should follow me. Okay, so if I move back, and back in, and let's see if it's going to reposition itself a little bit higher up. See if I can get it to come down here and then come back up. So on my, let me check something here. So I think what it is that the camera is much larger in the scene. And I need to adjust that. So let me do that because I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea about what this camera actually looks like. Okay, so there we go. That's probably a better representation of what the camera sees. Okay, so now, like I said, as I move, the camera's tracking me pretty much wherever I go. Very, very responsive. Now, the next test would be on the AI tracking is great, but a lot of us who do these type of videos are always talking about products, right? So here's something that's black. So let's see what happens when I put this up in front of the camera. Will it zoom in? Will it focus on it? Yep, it's focusing on it, no problem. Let's do it again. It's focusing on it, no problem. Let's try it from this angle here where it's just blocking my face. Now let's see what happens when I put it up and you can still see my face. So it's still, and I have it in tracking mode. So let me take it out of tracking mode first of all. Okay, so let's do that. And then let's just bring this up and back and up and back. Very, very responsive, guys. Really nice, really nice. So from just a little time I have worked with this camera, I think this is going to be an excellent camera for me to experiment with. Let me show you guys where this camera is positioned first of all here in my studio. So let me switch over here real quick and then switch here. So it's just right here on top of this monitor here on my desk. I just wanted you guys to see, you know, the actual position of the camera. It is, you know, literally sitting on a monitor facing me. So it is directly in front of me where I'm sitting right now, which is super cool. Okay. So anyway, I think for a lot of people who are, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing this for a very, very long time, I believe this is going to be an excellent camera for you guys. So if you're looking for a webcam that has a lot of features, I really like, I forgot to put it in tracking mode. I really like the fact that it has that script generation that we just looked at, because again, for people who are just getting started, who don't know what to say once they, you know, the lights are on, the camera's on, and now you have a script that you can read. You can have it right here on your monitor, or if you're out doing, lifestyle videos or whatever the case it is, and you want to grab a product, whatever it is, and you want to be able to talk about the product now as I'm looking around for a product, something to grab to put in my hands. You have a product that you're talking about and you want the camera to be able to, quickly focus on whatever that product is and then always come back to your face. This is a great camera. It really, really is. So all of the reviews that I've seen on this camera have been very impressive. Like I said, the firmware itself, I think, could use a little bit of work because I'm so used to using so many other cameras, and the software is very, very polished. Maybe this is a Mac issue. I don't know, but I do notice that there's a little bit of little bugs. That's all we'll say, little bugs that need to be addressed. And what I'm going to do, guys, I keep it real with you guys. So I'm actually going to check out a couple of other people's videos on this camera and make sure, because you know me, I did not read this manual. I just took it right out of the box, plugged it in, and just started playing with it, okay? So I'm going to watch a few other people's videos on this camera and making sure that I am not missing something on the position controls, because that's what I was struggling with a little bit earlier in this video. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys. I give it my stamp of approval as not just a beginner camera, but as a general camera, because I really, really like this. I can't wait to tonight when I go live and I can switch between my two different camera angles and I can get like real reactions from some of my viewers and see what they think about this, because they are very judgmental, Richard. But anyway, I'm gonna finish this video up, guys, and I will see you in the next. All right, so hopefully this video has been informative as well as entertaining, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask when appropriate, take care of your loved ones, guys, and I am out of here. Peace.